All right, so this is the splitS by Apulsoft. This is a great plugin here. This plugin is really, really nice when it comes to sibilances and just gain control in them. After using it for a while, I've been using it for a couple weeks, I kind of look at it like a compressor just for sibilances. That's kind of what it's like. It's a little bit different than a de-esser. You have different parameters and different thresholds, so I'm gonna take a look at them here. So I'm gonna play some vocals here, and we're gonna bypass the volume here. Bypass the plugin.
Some people still ain't got no light, so they can't see past the flood.
So take a listen to those S's. There's a lot of them there.
Some people still ain't got no light, so they can't see past the flood.
Especially the C past the flood. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and engage the plugin. I've already messed with the parameters, and then we'll go over some of the things that I did.
Some people still ain't got no light, so they can't see past the flood. Some people still ain't got no light, so they can't see past the flood. Some people still ain't got no light, so they can't see.
And we're gonna make some adjustments too. So I'm hearing some things. So let's take a look at the plugin here. We've got bright and dark here. This is adjust the brightness detection setting to match the overall brightness of the vocal recording. Low values for dark recording. So that being said, if you got some bright vocals and they sound really crisp and clear, and you're controlling these S's, you don't want to pull it down real dark. You want to kind of leave it up, and this also kind of controls what you're sending to the S. Now let me solo this real quick so you can see this S is the control of the S's, so the gain control. So let's solo it here. So you can see this is what we're going to be controlling, all these sibilances. So what you can do is, while you have that soloed, you can mess with your thresholds and see what you're controlling. So down here we have the quiet and loud. Adjust the level detection to select sections. Going to S, which is where we're controlling the gain of the sibilances based on level. Low values for clean recordings, high values for noisy recordings. So this is a pretty clean recording that I have here. There's not a lot of noise in it, so we can go off of that. Tone and noise. Adjust the tone noise detection setting to match the ringiness of sibilances present in the vocals. So as you know, sometimes your sibilances are they'll have a ringing noise that you can control and help with a EQ. When you do that, unless you're doing an audio suite EQ, you're going to be putting that EQ on the entire vocal track. So it will affect everything. So sometimes you don't want to do that. So that's a pretty cool tool there. So let's engage the plugin, unsolo this, and let's take a listen to what we're adjusting here.
Some people still ain't got no light, so they can't see past the. Some people still ain't got no light, so they can't see past the flood.
It sounds pretty good so far. I'm gonna pull it up just a little bit and just bypass it.
Some people still ain't got no light, so they can't see past the flood.
I'm really focusing on that C past the flood.
Some people still ain't got no light, so they can't see past the flood.
So I'm pulling it down about 4. I don't know if that, I guess you could consider that. It's probably decibels. It doesn't say, but yeah, pulling it down 4 decibels will say.
Some people still ain't got no light, so they can't see past the flood.
And I just feel like that sounds pretty natural. Let's listen to it with the beat behind it.
Some people still ain't got no light, so they can't see past the flood.
And I'm going to go ahead and bring this down here, and we're going to move forward. Let's listen to everything. There's other sibilances here, so we'll definitely catch some things.
A lot of people lost their homes, even some of the ones they love. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy come with the morning sun. So everything gonna be alright, although it's hard to walk through mud. Some people still ain't got no light, so they can't see past the flood. I know your whole life to change. In the instant like rice, I empathize with your pain. I can't imagine what that's like. See me in my heavy.
Yeah, I just feel like this plugin helps everything sound natural without destroying the sibilances, because you want a sibilance because that's a natural thing. You can hear when someone speaks, you can hear the sibilances, so you don't want to take it away, but you just don't want it to be overbearing and harsh, especially in a mix. If you have some overbearing harshness with a sibilance and transients, that transient will come out in the master. I mean, it will just shine through and just be overbearing. So this really helps you with control. What I'll do after this is once I get it right the way I want it, I'm going to commit it probably. Save a playlist, that way I can take away some processing power that I know that this plugin does, and then from there I'll probably add a de-esser just to catch a couple other things that may help with controlling the sibilances as well and the S's. This is a great plugin by Apulsoft, Apulsoft, Apulsoft splitS. They have some other plugins. I haven't got to try those yet. I'll definitely be contacting them about trying their other plugins. They were graceful enough to send me this right here and let me give it a try and see how I like it and make these videos. I love it. This is going to be a great plugin for any at-home recording artists who you might not have the best equipment and you get some sibilances, because those cheaper mics definitely get that annoying sibilance. They'll have that ringing in it. It's just, cheap mics are cheap mics. But even with some good mics, I get stuff sent to me where I've got some S's, and I normally will go in, I'll highlight the sibilances, and I use my solid state Logic, the UF8. I've got some buttons on here that I've programmed to do gain control, and I can highlight the sibilances and hit negative, and it'll pull it down 1.5 decibels every time I do that. I would have to manually do that. Now with this plugin, I really don't have to do that. I really don't, honestly. This is the first plugin that I know of that does this, that you can actually gain control. It's almost, even like I said, it's like a compressor for the S's, because you have these different parameters.
A lot of people lost their homes, even some of the ones they love. We've been may endure for a night, but joy come with the morning.
And each one kind of works, they work together to find the control that you want, that you need to control the S's in your song. It's pretty cool. I mean, I like it a lot. I'm a big fan of this plugin. It's going to be a normal thing for me to use. So make sure you check this out. Apulsoft splitS. Send me a message and I'll see if I can't get you a discount code as well. Again, my name's Sean Sievert with Richview Multimedia, and let's get back to mixing.